The PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series S. We're going to dig into this in a very real world, how it applies to you as a casual gamer. So let's hop into it. Alright, so in this video, I'm not going to talk about hardware, I'm not going to talk about the output resolution, I'm really only going to talk about the actual meaningful differences that you will find between these two consoles. Well, if it's not the actual hardware, what the heck is it? Well, let us find out together, as it were. So as your normal, everyday, casual gamer, what are the actual differences? So you can see right here on the PlayStation website, we've got the PS5, and you'll scroll down and it'll go through all of its own little things. Your journey begins, they talk about lightning speed, see the PlayStation 5 in action. It's going to talk all about your DualSense controllers and how it has all these other features to the actual controller itself. It's got a solid state drive, of course, like it does. It does ray tracing, just like Xbox, see vibrant colors. It'll do up to, with compatible games, 120 frames per second. 4K graphics, new worlds, and then here where you get into all of their exclusive games. It does have some backwards compatibility with the PS4, and of course their PlayStation Plus. So let's hop over to the Xbox real quick. And here on the Xbox Series X page, they have basically the same thing. So it's of course going to talk about everything it can do, 4K gaming, 120 frames a second. They do advertise an 8K HDR range. Of course, it's, on supported games and actually having, a monitor that will actually handle that. They're going to, of course, talk about games that are optimized for the system. They're going to talk about the system's actual computing power, ray tracing, which PS5 has, the 3D sound. They're going to talk about their exclusive games. And they're going to go more into about their solid state drive. They have an expansion bay, their wireless controllers, all the features of their controllers, compatibility with other devices. And then they're going to tout their really big thing, which Microsoft is doing for a while now, which is, of course, Game Pass. They go on to talk about their backward compatibility with thousands of games, Xbox 360, and of course the original Xbox. So here are the actual key differences for these consoles, and I think honestly, the things you should genuinely care about when you're actually considering one or the other, assuming that you don't already have both, assuming that you're not actually buying both. So I was around on Twitter and Reddit, which you can actually find me on, LeapYearBear, exact same tag all over the internet, if you are interested in interacting with me on those platforms. And of course, there's always this debate of which is better and which one gives you the most value and blah, blah, blah. So here are the things that I think matter most when it comes to choosing one of these consoles. Number one, and the most important for me, is the controller. I absolutely prefer the Xbox Series X controller to the PlayStation controller. Have I played plenty of PlayStation games with that controller in the past? Of course, absolutely. However, I first fell in love with the Xbox 360 primarily because of its controller. The thumb placement for your left thumb just feels a lot more natural. And let's be honest, 99% of the games that you are going to play, you are going to be primarily using that left thumbstick for all of your movements for your character. I prefer the click of the D-pad on the Xbox controller as well. I like having that feedback in my thumb and the feedback of the sound of the click of knowing when I have actually hit it. So here with the PlayStation 5 controller, it lights up, it has a touchpad, it has a built-in mic, of course your regular buttons, and then they're going to go off and advertise all the fancy things that this controller can do, like your adaptive triggers that work with some games, and then your haptic feedback, which also work with some games. Just the shape of this controller, I personally do not like. I've had multiple hardcore PlayStation friends tell me that this touchpad here is just a novelty. Does a controller have some good features? Of course it does. But we're talking about everyday use. Number 2, games available and at what cost. Most games you can get on the Xbox and the PlayStation. I genuinely think that PlayStation's biggest draw is only their exclusives. And I really think that is not a big a deal as people would like it to be. Compared to the amount of games that are available for each console, the exclusive games make up a tiny fraction of what is actually available. So you've got your things like your Ratchet and Clanks, you've got your God of Wars, you have your Horizon, Last of Us, Final Fantasy, and Gran Turismo. For Xbox, you of course have your Halo series, you have your Gears of War series, you have Starfield, and anything that is by Bethesda, I would expect in the future will be exclusive to Xbox. And that's kind of it. Those are the two things that would affect me as a regular, casual, everyday gamer. Is this controller long enough to hold in my hands for a long period of gameplay time? And what games am I actually going to be playing? If there is enough of a variety on whichever console that I'm choosing, then that is the appropriate choice. I'm not going to get into comparing which one has more games and which one does this and which one does that, comparing PlayStation Plus with the Xbox Game Pass. I will say this, in general, Xbox has a much better selection, a much more consistent selection on their Game Pass. It is vastly the standard now to have an all-digital console and some sort of subscription service. And I feel like Microsoft Xbox fits that bill better for us casual everyday game players. The ones who are not worried about playing hardcore and making it to the top of whatever league that there is. Well, leave me a comment and let me know which one you actually prefer and why. Tell me what you think about the controllers. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and we will see you in the next video.